Hi folks, Laurie here on a kind of autumnal Scottish day in July. Figure that one out. It's very, very overcast today. You can see the sky is leaden, I believe is the word that they use for that. But the breeze is up, so that means the midges aren't out. And I've managed to get back out on my friend's croft. And what I thought we'd do today is I want you to hear some signals that I'm hearing with this new coil I've got. So I have the new 9.5 by 5.5, I believe, or 9 by 5 inch elliptical coil for the Simplex. It's the new one, it's the quite small one. And I'm absolutely loving it. I think it does fantastic things for the balance of the machine. So my arm doesn't hurt, and it just, for me, it makes the machine a lot more balanced. It just works better than the standard coil. But it has other uses too, and one of them is what I'm just about to show you. I am on an old track that goes back to sort of the 1700s. It was the main road up here, and it went from down at a castle up the hill and then onto the peat cuttings, passing various farms on the way. So it's busy. As you can imagine, it's busy. I've had it in previous videos, and I think somebody made the comment of, did it go to an iron smelter or something, because there's so much rubbish in it. But I wanted to show you with this coil how you can pick out the signals within a very, very noisy environment, and then we'll dig one that I've picked out that I think is a good one, and then we'll dig up one that sounds good, but my instinct is telling me it's not, and we'll find out whether I know anything. So I'll just flip you around and I'll let you have a listen to this ground. Okay, so here we are. We have the track. We have the Simplex, and as you can see, she is set up in Park 2, so for maximum separation. Not really too worried about the depth, and I have her 1 bar down off of full sensitivity, and she is properly ground balanced. So what we're going to do is I'm going to head up along this is the wall that was the edge of the track, and I'm going to let you have a listen to what I'm listening to. So, as you can hear, there is a lot going on in this ground. That one. That might actually be picking out a small something in there, but it's very jumpy. But we'll mark that one as one of our come back and digs, so we can see what we get on that sort of a signal. You can hear the iron. You can also hear it jumping around. Now, a new user of the Simplex would probably get this and go, I don't know what to dig. Because it's very jumpy. This is not even on full sensitivity. Very, very, lots of signals, very jumpy signals, very noisy signals. What should I be doing? What should I be digging? Now, one of the things I will say to you, I think is very important, is that you have your iron tones on. So, settings, that's volume, that's ground balance, that's iron. You can see mine's all the way up. Because I want to hear the iron, I want to know what's in this ground. I don't want to tune it out, because I think it's important that we hear it and we know what's in there. So, now that's my spade that you're hearing bleep, bleep, bleep there. So this is one I have picked out to dig. It's sitting right at the upper 60s, mid to upper 60s. Two-way repeatable, though it's not quite so good this direction, but it is still there. Come to it this way. Again, it's repeatable. So I'm going to dig that, and then I will let you know what we found. Just a moment. Okay folks, that's what was in the hole. It's very, very light. So I don't think it's iron. Even though it's got the orange crust on it, I'm really not sure what that is. I'll have to knock the accretions off, and I will put a photo in now. So that's what we found in that hole. I will check it with the detector to make sure there's nothing else in there, but that was a very solid signal, and yeah, don't know what that is. But let's go find a hole that's a bouncy one that sounds like it might be a good signal to dig, but probably isn't. Let's go find one of those and dig it up, and we'll listen to it, and then we'll dig it up and we'll see what it is. Okay folks, so this signal here might fool somebody that's pretty new to detecting. So let's find it again. Where was it? Right, that was it. By sound, it sounds like it's a good solid tone. It is doing some 70 to 71s in there, 66, 55s. Okay, but you see, you can hear the occasional little grunt. There's two things there. I can hear a second thing. That's a second thing. But I'm getting an occasional little grunt, and if I turn sideways, you see that the numbers suddenly go all over the place. Not really two-way repeatable at all. Come on to this side of it. You're still getting some of those 70s, but it's really bouncy. Sorry, I'm doing my best to get this over so you can see the numbers, but I want you to hear it. You hear that little grunt of iron? So you might hear that and think, ooh, but the more you sort of examine that, the more I say, I would walk on past this. But because this direction sounds so good, but you can see, it's still quite jumpy. I think that's going to be a bit of iron. But let's dig it up and let's have a see. This is just to show you how something might sound and what it looks like when you get it out the hole. Before we dig this thing out the hole, I just want to show you my view that I have here. How's that for a spot to come detecting along that track? I am so lucky. Anyway, here we go. Here's the hole. Let's get the pin pointer on. Right. Okay. Pin pointer is saying it's sort of there. Not in the plug. It's sort of there. So I'll get it out and we'll have a look and we'll try and find the two things, because I was hearing a second thing. We'll try and find the second thing. I'll be right back. I didn't actually need to get anything out after all, because I spotted it straight away. Looky here. That's what that is. That's foil. Foil will give you a fantastic signal, and it will give it to you all over the shop. I have been digging this morning. I have been digging 30s, solid 33s, 32s, and they've turned out to be foil. Foil is a real nightmare because the detector will catch it on the edge. It's hard to pick out. It will give you a pure tone. This one, when we went around to different sides of it, you saw that the signal got jumpy, and that's an indicator. It also could be a ring, or it could be something with an uneven edge, like a buckle, that will cause it to jump around. So you have to make your own decisions about how busy your site is, how much you want to dig. And as you use the machine more and more, the sounds of a buckle, the sounds of a ring, the sounds of a coin, they will get stronger for you. But on the other hand, some are always going to be iffy signals. They're going to be deep. They're going to be something like gold that's hard to get an absolute handle on. So you have to judge it yourself and decide how much junk you want to dig, because in that junk there will be treasures. If you don't dig everything, you will miss things, but you will also not be digging so much junk, and it's just going to come down to how you feel about it. So let me see if I can find that second signal in here. I think I'll turn the Simplex back on, see if I can pinpoint it, and then I just put up the picture now. Okay, so just a quick catch up on what was going on with that second signal. That's the hole that I've dug. That is the boulder that came out of it. And I think what was going on, I'll let you have a listen, see. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I've not taken anything out the hole. But you come right here and you start catching the edge of some iron that's just here. And I think what was happening was when I was coming over with the coil just there, that big rock was on it. And we have been told by Nox Macro, it's in your handbook if you read it, that signals under rocks will change VDIs. They will not have the same VDIs as they wouldn't if they were under a big rock. So I think what's happened is that second edge of a signal that I was hearing was under this big rock down there, but it was actually catching the edge of that iron over there, because there's absolutely nothing else in there. So let's go on with this machine. Let me fill in this hole. I'm going to go on with this machine and I'm going to find something, pick something out of all of this noise for us to dig. It's going to be something good. Hang on. My camera went off on that last one. I'm not sure where. So we can go back to here. This one I was saying that I really... Right, that one, absolutely not. Too busy, too jumpy. Even with this tiny coil. Don't think so. This one I thought was better. But now that I'm looking at it a bit more, I think it's jumping about too much. I think it's going to turn out to be foil. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig both of those and then I shall show you. So here we have hole number 2. Foil. Hole number 1. I don't really know. I don't think it's a horseshoe because it's far too thin. And I'm not sure if it's like iron with something else, like that bit iron and that bit not. I shall have to give that a bit of a bash. It might be cutlery or a pocket knife handle or just a knife handle in general, but I'll have to give that a clean up. But that is the signal that was more solid, that I said on second thought I wasn't sure I would dig. That is the one that was next to it that I said was quite bouncy and I wouldn't dig. But that one was the one I initially said I would, the one that I said way back in the video that I said, oh, we'll come back to that one because it sounds interesting. That was this one. The bouncy one that was next to it was that, which is typical on this path, lots of foil. So anyway, I shall move on until I find another signal that I can pick out of all of this nonsense. But I will tell you, that tiny little coil, if you have a situation like this where you have a lot going on, it is brilliant because it just gets right in. And especially if you use park, so you've got the separation and you can get right in between things and it can really see the difference between iron and something that's next to it. It's a cracker. Okay folks, so I'm on the edge of the yard now. I've come off of the track, but the track does turn up this way as it heads up to the farmhouse. And that's been picked out by the machine. And that's a cracker. So we're going to dig that up and we're going to see what we got. Got another little squeaker for you just here. So let's give that a dig and see what we got. That sweet signal was a pound coin. I sure do love summer. I hope that wherever you live, you are able to get out and you have things like these wild raspberries where you live that you can pick and you can enjoy. Because I am very lucky. I have this whole big patch here. They weren't very nice a few days ago, but being Scotland, we've had some rain, as we always do. And we're currently having a little bit of sun, although it's quite breezy. That's good, keeps midges down. And now, bonanza. We've also got all the wild cherries coming in as well. I'll show you a tree when I get back near the house. But I hope where you are while you're out detecting, that you keep your eyes open, because certainly raspberries, brambles, and wild cherries, blaeberries are all ripe for the picking.